Tomorrow, Taj Ravine plans to fly over the skies of Moncton in a Cessna Skyhawk. Now, that might not sound so unusual until you hear that Taj is 5 years old. Taj spent his first hours of life in one of the few aircraft in the skies following the terror attacks on September 11th, 2001. Taj suffers from a rare disorder. The left side of his heart is underdeveloped. At just 18 hours old, he was airlifted to a Toronto Children's Hospital on that historic day for emergency heart surgery, and then they airlifted him back to the IWK in Halifax. Taj, who now lives in Salisbury, recently learned why medical staff often refer to him as the 9/11 flyboy, and that's inspired him to make tomorrow's flight to raise money for the IWK. Now, Taj and his dad Tyrone are in our studio. Good morning. Hi, Taj.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. So tell me why you want to fly tomorrow.
Because I want to waste money for IWK telephone.
You do? Tell me why it's important to you.
Because the kids are sick.
Because the kids are sick and it helps them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me how you learned to fly.
Well, I practice on my flights later much. My dad got some practices on my Cessna on my flight simulator.
So you have a flight simulator game at home?
Yeah, and it flies a Cessna.
And then you went to the Moncton Airport, I hear, recently.
Yeah.
And what did you do there?
He had the other flight simulators, a 3 TV stream, and I got fly other aircrafts, and I seen Taj Mahal on 777, and I really flew the real plane just for practice.
You flew the real plane for practice? How did that feel?
It was real bumpy.
It was bumpy.
When we landed, we got termites. When we landed, we bounced it off the ground high.
Oh, wow. Were you scared?
Yeah.
Yeah? But you still did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going up tomorrow. And so when you were up in the air, were you steering the plane at all? What were you doing with the plane?
The guy had his hands on the dashboard, and I was just the only one flying in the sky.
Wow. So he took off for you and landed for you, but you controlled things.
No, Taj did the takeoff.
Really?
The pilot had his hands literally on the dashboard 90% of the entire flight, just until the last few seconds of the final approach. And then there was one point that Taj wanted to take a break so he could look out the window, so he took over control, and then he gave Taj back. But for about 22 minutes of the 25-minute flight, it was all Taj right up until the final touchdown of the aircraft starting from takeoff.
Taj, do you think you would be in a real plane so soon in life?
Yeah, I always been in planes.
It sounds like it's kind of who you are. You want to be a pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's really neat. Well, Tyrone, I want to ask you about this. How is it that Taj has fallen in love with flying? How did this happen?
Well, at first, his fascination for flying seemed to follow his awareness that he was the only kid flying in Canadian airspace on that day of 9/11, and he inquired about it, and we got to the point that we had to tell him why that was a special day, and he saw the videos of what was happening, and we explained that some bad people did some bad things, and that's the reason that they banned all the flights. But on that day, the Moncton Hospital, in connection with the IWK, who have some sophisticated equipment, who were able to see what was going on with his heart on TV screens at the IWK, determined that he had hypoplastic left heart syndrome, and they explained to the FAA that without getting Taj to a major hospital that was capable of dealing with that he wouldn't make it.
So now I understand that once Taj has gotten a sense of this is why he was the only child in the air, he wanted to fly. How did he approach you about this? How did this all happen?
I just noticed a fascination when we'd fly to Las Vegas to go and visit his grandma and grandpa's. He was very excited about planes, and then in the gift store he wanted to buy planes, and then one of his grandfather is into planes, and he flies radio control planes, and it was just a great fascination that led to his Microsoft Flight Simulator, which he just loves, and he spends a lot of time on there. And one day I was watching him land to 747. I thought, there's no way he's going to be able to do that, and he touched it down and pulled it to a stop before it went off the runway, and I thought, that's incredible. And I tried to do it, and I still can't do it. I don't know how he'd pulled it off, but he seems to do it every day. And so I went down to the Moncton Flight Center, and I explained to them that Taj would like to go on a little plane, and that that they ought to let him fly a plane and try to raise money for IWK Telethon. And at the first they thought I was not very serious about letting him take control of the aircraft. However, as I challenged them to let him sit at the simulator and have a go at it, that that they were amazed and astounded how well he could fly for a 5-year-old kid, especially. And they said that they have flight students that can't even fly that well. So
amazing
in their first weeks of flying. So
you went up with him in that practice on Sunday, I understand?
Yes, we did.
How did it feel to be in that plane with him?
I was a bit nervous. I mean, I was confident that the captain knew, would make sure he took control of the plane in case Taj did something irrational and put us into a barrel spin or something. But when I saw him put his hands on the dashboard, that's when I kind of got concerned that he has a lot of confidence in this kid. But he's been training Taj for quite a while now in the simulators and orientating him in the real aircraft, making him sit in there. And the amazing teacher, Nathaniel Hurdle, and just been doing a wonderful job at training him. And I was just amazed. I mean, we kind of flew like a roller coaster, but it was a fantastic flight.
As Taj mentioned, it was a bit bumpy. Taj, is there any last thing you'd like to say to people about the IWK and about what you're going to do tomorrow? What would you like to tell people about your flight?
Well, the flight was really bumpy. And when I seen the pilot, his hands on the dashboard, I wasn't expecting him to do that.
No? So you really had free reign. And do you think that'll happen tomorrow, too? Yeah? So this is for the IWK, and is there anything you'd like to say to people who donate money to the IWK for tomorrow?
Well, I have to raise money for this IWK. These little kids are really sick, and they have broken hearts and bone legs and stuff, and I need to raise money.
Okay, well, Taj, thanks for being here, and good luck on your flight tomorrow. Okay, bye now. And thanks, Tyrone, for being here with Taj.
Thank you.
So if the weather cooperates, Taj Ravine, who you just heard, 5 years old, plans to make a 10-minute flight from the Moncton Flight College, and that's raising money for the IWK Children's Hospital. He'll have a little help from a co-pilot, but Taj is running the show. Takeoff is planned for 10 o'clock, and if you'd like to make a donation to the IWK, you can call 1-800-595-2266. Again, that's 1-800-595-2266. How you doing?